Alright folks, we starting this video out today with me in the parking lot practicing what I continue to preach. Getting in the parking lot and doing some basic U-turns, some braking and swerving. I'm trying to execute 18-foot U-turns here. According to the pros, we should be able to make at least a 24-foot turn on the motorcycles. But as I continue to say, guys, if nothing else, get in a parking lot, practice emergency braking and swerving. What you're looking at there, guys, is me actually using the pawn there as a reference, assuming that if I don't execute the maneuver, that my skills of swimming hopefully will come into play. But yeah, I always say, if nothing else, at the end of my videos, do some braking and swerving, get in the parking lot. You know, they always say practice make perfect, but in this case, I don't believe that we will ever be perfect. But hopefully practice will make us prepared in the event of an emergency. What I noticed after not being out for a couple of weeks practicing, folks, is that my right turns were a little bit more sketchy than making the left turns. But yeah, folks, getting in the parking lot, what I'm doing here now is showing you a little bit of onboard. I wish I had kept the audio on so you can hear my attempt to try to keep a steady throttle as I'm executing the maneuvers. But yeah, folks, we're going to be doing this here so we can get this video here started. Again, practicing what I continue to preach, parking lot drills. Hey YouTube, welcome to the channel. My name is Rich. The name of the channel is Rich the Return Rider. For all you folks that's here for the first time, thanks for tuning in. For all you folks that's return viewers, I appreciate you coming back. For all that subscribe to the channel, guys, appreciate the support. For you folks that haven't yet subscribed, guys, hit that subscribe button so we can continue to bring you some of this content. So today, guys, we are out for some throttle therapy. And what I'm doing today, guys, is no cones or anything, man, but I am out in a parking lot. I'm actually going to do a sidewalk right turn here. I'm out in a parking lot, guys, doing a little practice. Recently watched Joe Goes Motorcycle Adventures as he was doing his little instructional videos. And as I comment on him, he said to me, yeah, Rich, just get out there in the parking lot, man, and go do it. And what I realized, guys, is I do go to parking lots on a regular and practice, especially the U-turns, 18-foot turns and so forth. No cones, just right into a parking lot and get my practice on. So what I did today, guys, I pulled my drone out and see how much stuff that if I go a couple of weeks without practicing, how sloppy I become. And guys, as they say, it's a perishable skill. But anyway, folks, we're moving on. You know, I always encourage that stuff. It has built my confidence over the last 3 years immensely. Strongly recommend it. But as you can see from the title there, man, what do you think? Going from a sports bike to a bagger, is the Honda Goldwing a good option for that transition? Now, I recently had some visitors here, my niece and her husband. He brought down a couple of sports bikes with him as we were preparing for Daytona. And I have had the opportunity to get back on the sports bikes after 20 plus years. The CBR 1000RR, wish I had more footage of it. The Fireblade, 2023, I think it is. And as thrilling as it was to get back on a sports bike, I gotta admit, man, that is just not the riding position for me anymore. The Honda Goldwing has spoiled me, guys. From an upright position to putting my foot up on the pegs and leaning back a little and just cruising. God, guys, it makes me continue to be fascinated with the design of this motorcycle and how it feels. But yeah, let's talk about it, man. So as I try to get him off of these sports bikes, what you're looking at here, guys, the overcast day here in Lake City, Florida. As I talked to him about getting a bagger, and it started out as a joke with him. Now, on the video that I have done with my niece that was afraid of riding on the back of the motorcycles, of course, the sports bikes more than the cruisers and the tours, about the different choices of motorcycles, and he was joking about it. At the end of that video, what we allowed him to do is to take a cruise on the Honda Goldwing, and he came back with a grin on his face, and he was pleasantly surprised.
I'm actually I like this. Ah!
how nice and smooth it was to ride this motorcycle. Now, I don't think that he was surprised at the comfort, but guys, the Honda Goldwing, the point I'm trying to make here is the Honda Goldwing is an easy motorcycle to ride. I think out of everything, his biggest surprise was how easy the bike was to ride. But I have learned getting back into the world of riding, it's not about the size of the motorcycle, man. It's about the techniques you employ. And if you have the techniques that you're practicing, you get on any motorcycle and ride it. That's the great thing that I enjoyed about this journey back, doing the demo rides. And I got to tell you, folks, in doing the demo rides, man, one of the conclusions that I came to is that the Honda Goldwing is one of the easiest motorcycles to ride. So why not transition from a sports bike to the Honda Goldwing? Now, let me tell you what brought this topic up. He has gone back up to Jersey, and as I suggested, the BMW K1600s, Grand America, and I even spoke to him about some of the V-twins. I told him about the Indian. I'm a big fan of the Indian Challenger. More the Challenger, the regular Challenger, than the Pursuit. The Pursuit is really, it's a lot of motorcycle, guys. And I know I say the technique is what really matters, but it's a lot of mass. So I did inspire him to check out the Challengers. He sent me a live picture of him walking through the showroom looking at all the motorcycles, the K1600s. But the one that he came to that he seemed to be the most fascinated with is the new 2024 green, matte green bagger. And as he talked to the sales reps, they told him $25,000 out the door. He seemed to be pretty impressed with that. But what I'm going to say about that motorcycle, guys, is the only thing that I could find negative about the motorcycle is the drop guard protections, because I do want him to get in the parking lot. I want him to take the safety classes. I expressed to him that Robert Simmons is in his area from time to time in Jersey. So yeah, the drop protection was one of the concerns. Now, I know a lot of folks are not going to put the drop protections that I have on my motorcycle on their motorcycle, and that's fine. But Max McAllister has come out with an option also on some of the drop protections, and if he does intend to buy the motorcycle, that would be my recommendation. But let's talk about that matte green bagger. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. He loves the color. I'm not a big fan of the matte anything. I like a little bit of bling to my bikes, to my cars, whatever. But let's talk about the ease of riding that motorcycle. I did suggest for him the DCT. You guys know I ride the manual for anyone that has watched this channel before. But I do support the DCT big time. Now, there's lots of stuff about the slow speed maneuvering stuff. I'm not buying into that right now. I do believe with the right practice and care that there's no problem with the DCT on the concourse. I've seen videos with folks using them. I'm not going to get into that debate, but I suggested that he get the DCT bagger. Now, there was a comment in the comment section from the helmet carrying capacity and so forth on the bagger. Well, what I suggest in his case, because I do believe he doesn't want the big touring motorcycle with the, that big trunk on the back. So what I suggest is put a little rack on the back of the motorcycle, some kind of decorative rack. Actually use a strap to secure either me or Lorna's helmet when we are traveling. I could put it in the back seat and wrap the strap around it. It's a lock-in mechanism. Because I have the 2019, I have the smaller luggage space that won't fit two helmets in the back. Every time I see the 2021s and up, guys, I still regret that today that I don't have that. That trunk is significant. But yeah, the DCT, I think it'll be a great transition motorcycle. Someone was like, oh yeah, Honda Goldwing is an old man motorcycle. Guys, if you look at all the motorcycles that I just described, there's none of them that's sportier looking than the Honda Goldwings. And a guy that owns a CBR and can appreciate the Honda technology, which one of these motorcycles would be the best motorcycle for a guy that is transitioning than a sports touring motorcycle looking like the Honda Goldwing? especially the Generation 6 slimmed down version of the Honda Goldwing. There are none of the motorcycles out there that is as sporty as it, sporty looking in the class as it. And with that low center of gravity on that flat, with that flat 6 engine, guys, this motorcycle is easy to ride. It's easy to ride, it's easy to handle. Now, if you're looking at the V-twins that give him a whole different delivery, again, if you're looking at a sports, coming from a sports bike, there's nothing that's going to accelerate like the sports bikes in the V-twin class. So again, he's back to the BMW, he's back to the Honda Goldwing. And guys, gotta admit, man, when it comes to the performance and the power, the BMW is it. But to me, and I've test rode all the motorcycles I'm talking about, guys, when it comes to the handling, the Honda Goldwing. And that bagger, that will not be as intimidated looking at somebody that's transitioning from a sports bike to the Goldwing, I think is an awesome option. The DCT, now he brought down the MV Augusta. I don't know if you guys know what that bike is, but it's the Italian bike. But what it is a naked bike. I got a picture here of it. And that motorcycle, once you put it in gear with the clutch, you don't have to shift up or down. And he loves that motorcycle. What better transition than the Honda Goldwing DCT? Anyway, folks, that's just my spiel on this video here. I'm not going to make it too long. I'm looking to see the decision he makes, and maybe I'll do a video after he chooses which bike he chose. But the idea of being on a sports bike now as we're getting older, and with the wife wanting to travel with you, you know, it was great being on the CBR, man, but the position of that motorcycle is just not for me. I felt like a torpedo going through the wind. And of course, I tried to record it, and I had to keep my head up, and I still didn't get real good footage on the GoPro. But I gotta admit, the next day my neck felt a little bit sore after about 20 minutes of riding on that CBR. The sports bike days are over, guys. It's time to transition over to your choice of baggers or tours. That's just my spiel. I think the Honda Goldwing is a great transition from sports bikes to the world of the touring motorcycles. What do you think? Leave it in the comment section below. Rich out on Ruby, encouraging you guys to get into a parking lot, practice emergency braking, if nothing else, braking and swerving. Do the advanced safety classes, guys. At the end of the day, it's better that you drop your bike on the cone course or on a parking lot than to crash them out there on the streets. Rich out on Ruby, the 2019 Honda Goldwing, and I am out. Thanks for watching.